it's not a new trend. It's just an evolution from an offline seasonality coming to an online seasonality. Pakistan may talk about Ramzan, talking about Eid and everything. So as an organization and a consumer, both are very well in tune to the fact that seasonality does bring an impact. How it impacts us, obviously, on a media point of view and even on an operational point of view, you need to ensure that your primary sales are happening in time, you have enough stock coverage and depth availability going through. And at the same time, the consumer is very homogenous and the industries are very homogenous. So just हम रमज़ान की बात करते हैं, from beverages to regular staples, a lot of clutter and the conversation starts increasing, both on a media front and even at an in-store level. So it becomes very important that you know how you will stand out and how you will ensure that the value driven by your brands and your communication stands out from the rest. And I think that really makes a difference when such a large-scale event happens and you need to ensure that your top lines deliver on the same plan.
I think Rizwan Sahib, it's a little different when it comes to logistics, right? I mean, you don't really have the end consumer planning that you need to do, but a lot of scaling up that needs to happen for events, for example, like 11/11 that come across. What are some of the things that happen at your end in preparation of such events overall?
So, when you talk about logistics, the biggest challenge is when we go for the last mile. Scaling up on the warehouse side, the line haul side, forwarding, that's something which is not that difficult. But when we say that last customer को जब deliver होना है, and that also within the given KPIs, because the whole experience drives when the customer gets their item which they have ordered on time. So that is something which has always been a challenge for this industry and our company, I can surely say. For that, what we do is we normally in normal days we have dedicated resources for the deliveries for e-commerce, and on these events, what we do is we go hybrid. Then we have different, because we deal with the corporate customers also. So our riders are doing deliveries for both type of shipments. That's how we tackle it, and late shifts and all that is always no holidays. There's no Sundays. There's no anything like that. So yeah, that's how we do it.
Majid Sahib, I know TCL puts a lot of effort and a lot of planning into these events. We've got exclusive products that come on the platform. There's a lot of promotions and hype that goes on. I think the audience would benefit a lot if you go a little bit into the details of how you plan for such events, specifically 11/11, and what goes on behind the scenes that get us awesome products on the platform overall.
Yes, thank you, Imran. Yeah, first of all, like you said, in terms of event-based marketing, so the electronics industry is also very familiar with the concept. But we'd seen over the past, like you'd say, 10 years, that seasonality had started to tail off in the sense that our demand was more consistent throughout the year. I'm talking about offline channels. So, like in particular TVs, it was considered a winter product, right? Wedding season and all that. But that seasonality had kind of tailed off. So over the last 3 years, with the advent of e-commerce, especially the RAs and the events that are coming in terms of 11/11, we've seen that hype and that extreme bump in sales come back to the fore. So the thing that had evened out, now we see a huge concentration of sales in a very short span of time. And previously, you could say even seasonality used to be a month, 2 months, 3 months. But now we're talking about days. So we're talking about 7 days, 10 days. So it's a very hyper-concentrated point of time, which actually is contributing a huge proportion of your overall volumes that you're aiming to do. So I can give an example that, for example, the last year, our total volume last year of e-commerce, about 20 to 25% came in 7 days. So that's how important that particular period is in your entire year. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it, especially like you said, with the RAS, we've been partnering for the last 3 years. We have inter-channel, we have obviously offline dominant channels. So now we're trying to create a specific e-commerce channel, which is make it grow. So we've got exclusive models, which aren't available on offline channels. So there's no inter-channel, friction or some competition between channels. So we can offer those prices, those discounts, and those benefits to the customers without having pullback from the other side. So that's a huge contributor, and we have to start planning for this event, I'd say around June. So with your commercial team, with Faisal, Ibrahim, and all those people, we have to start planning for this event 4 to 5 months in advance, because we have to make sure our numbers, our volumes, what are we looking to do, what are the kind of figures we're trying to touch, what are the volumes we're trying to achieve. And given the atmosphere that existed this year, it was extremely tough to plan those things, because we can't wait too long because shipment lead times and all that. So in that particular scope, it's very important to plan, because if you haven't got your volumes aligned, even if you get the rise, the customers there, if the products aren't available and you're not properly planned it out in terms of availability and pricing, and what you're offering to the customer, you're going to lose out. So in that regard, it's very challenging, but something that we've been doing for the last couple of years.
ये बात मेरे ख्याल में हमारे कस्टमर्स के लिए समझना भी बड़ा ज़रूरी होगी. हमारी मीडिया के साथी भी यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं कि ये जो चंद दिनों की सेल होती है, इसके पीछे तकरीबन आधे साल की मेहनत लगी हुई होती है, जिसकी वजह से ये तमाम चीज़ें लेकर हमारे पास प्रोडक्ट्स आती हैं. Sufyan Mee is the king of event-based sales, right? I mean, all over the world, it's just on a next level. What are some of the things that happen in Pakistan overall? And if you could talk about some of the planning that is going on for 11/11 as well, that would be excellent.
So yeah, we have been associated with the Raz for more than 5 years. I've been working with you guys starting from Black Friday, Blessed Friday, then 11/11 from last 3 years. And it's not just about about these flagship campaigns coming up with O&D, but when it comes to Mobile Week, Independence Campaign, we're always up front. So it's all about collaborative launches, and it's a co-collaborative effort in terms of marketing and commercial planning and strategy. And obviously, when it comes to commercial volumes, we have seen a big spike within the entry-level segment after the COVID as well. Like from the $100 to $130, we got a big spike, because in the mid-range segment, we were having a sustainable growth. But now, it's getting really good. And I think Xiaomi will all be with the Raz, with these kind of flagship-level campaigns. It's like there is no other thought about it. So looking forward to this 11/11 as well.
Thank you, sir. And Ali, as Rizwan Saab was mentioning as well, it's a little bit of a different ball game where logistics are concerned, specifically where deliveries are concerned as well. What are some of the insights, some things that I wouldn't know, or the people that the press wouldn't know about the preparations that go, for example, from Pakistan's largest e-commerce delivery company? What happens over there?
So Imran, as Rizwan rightly mentioned, it's all about the last mile. So it's all about speed and increasing that speed of delivery for the customer. So I think what we do and what we've been doing over the years is, from the start of the year, we start working on our capacity planning and on our presence in terms of infrastructure. Because if you want last mile, then you need to equip your last mile team to deliver more in a smaller span of time. So be it building more facilities across Pakistan, hiring is something that you would do more near to the event itself. But in terms of existing fleet staff, that plays an instrumental role. For that, you need to learn throughout the year, learn from previous year for how the 11/11 went and how we can improve it, and then replicate that over the next 8 to 10 months for 11/11.
Great. So 11/11 is by far the biggest discount festival, and with discount, that means price relief, and that's why millions of people come to the platform. Just wanted to understand that how much this discount phenomena, this price cut during such event, impacts the sale, and what happens after that. Just wanted to understand whether people are actually price sensitive, and then whether they kind of come back to the same thing. I think with Reckitt products, I think discount might not be that big of a thing, but bundles and other strategies, how do you attract customers over there?
So Amar, I think what has changed over the time is, your own mindset is sometimes the biggest barrier to the change, right? So a lot of people said that when we talk about e-commerce, it's the technology companies or, products with a longer life cycle and, higher price value where they work out. However, 2 years back when Reckitt started with, selling soaps and, the other products online, things like Harpic, we saw great success, and we realized it is us which is holding ourselves back and not the consumer who's not willing to take. So truly any category work through. On the pricing front, a lot of people have that initial barrier. There are multiple barriers for a consumer to buy a product, and price is definitely one of them. How it helps is that a consumer who may be buying a a tier B product and not buying a higher quality product or expensive product, during these times does that trial purchase, and that enables us to have that customer lifetime value for the long run, that even after such events, we have that initial first entry into the house, which becomes a repeat purchase going forward. So it's not just about giving that price one-off, but it's the long-term value that you can generate through events like these, even with the pricing, on an FMCG product even.
Great. Majid, at your end, do you think that price off kind of, give that the sale boost, and then what happens next after? Technically for Daraz, it's like Big Friday coming next and then Bara Bara coming next. But after that whole season, does it have the step function change going up and then coming down, but not at a level which is before 10-10? How does sales kind of show the pattern over here?
Yes, definitely. Actually, during this period, we've seen that between events, sales tail off quite significantly. But in the larger picture, when you're going towards the next quarter, you will see the baseline which existed before these events, that baseline goes up year on year. So that's mainly because a lot of a huge volume of products are going into customer houses, and then they repeat customers. There's word of mouth that goes out for your brand, and then that spreads the message, and further customers come in to the picture next time. Their brand credibility every time keeps going up. So every time with the purchase, more and more people experience your product, more and more people then come back for your product over time as well. So it's not just about the discounts, it's about the fact that there are millions of people who've eyeballed your product as well in this time. So maybe even if they haven't purchased it as of right now, there are future potential customers coming forward in the next year or the year after that as well. So in that regard, most definitely, it's not just about discounts, and it's about the fact that attracting customers to your platform so that they experience it. If they buy it, great, but even if not, the baselines are definitely moving forward year on year.
Great. Sufyan, Xiaomi, while handset is a strong division, there are some great other products that people kind of shop also, some new things that come up. And we've seen that you guys have a great following on your Daraz Mall store as well. What sort of impact do you see event like 11/11 have in terms of your store following and having a trickle-down effect to your other product divisions also?
So basically, when it comes to our core Me fans, we have a proper target group, and we have moderators working on that, and we have a proper tech geek enthusiast who's been waiting for this event from the whole year. And we have to give a value to them when it comes to 11/11. And as far as I remember, 2 years back at the first ever 11/11, we got the highest fan following in Daraz Mall on our store. And obviously, recently, we have gained amazing results when it comes to the mega segment shares of Mi Band 5. And then it comes to the audio products like Mi Air Dots. And then we have more than 200 SKUs that has been launched already, and they are tremendous, like Mi electric scooters. Then we have Mi QI cycles. So like the pure core Me fan, this is the event for them. So according to the analogy and the DNA of Xiaomi globally, we are planning to do the same over here as well. So that's why we see that this is the value which is purely for core Me fans, and the data we grab from our own database and then from the Daraz support, that we are only targeting towards tech geek enthusiast who has been waiting for this event from a very long time. So yeah.
There's one thing I would be very interested in knowing. Overall, during this period of 11/11 in general sales, we see that a lot of customers from a wide variety of cities and areas come that normally don't. So the basic concentration is KLI, but during this period, we see a lot of tier 2, tier 3 customers, city customers coming in as well. Do you see that same sort of a change during these days as far as the last mile is concerned? Do you have to spread out the geography a little bit? What is some of the planning that goes on there?
Yes, but with the years passing by, people have started using online platforms in a very smaller cities also. Even today, we get orders for a very far-flung northern areas, some parts of Balochistan, where you don't normally, I would say people living in Karachi don't even know the names of those cities. So people are buying products from those, and even their success ratios, the acceptability is quite reasonable there as well. But yes, what I see with these sales coming in, people who are not used to buying online, they get attracted because of the amazing discounts you guys offer. And once they have a good experience of it, then they'll definitely adopt this online platform. But unless they get an experience what they were expecting, because especially when you talk about smaller cities, it's very hard for them to get these items in the market as well. So with the online, I think that's the opportunity which people get, that they can order and get anything what a person can get in Karachi as well. So that's a big thing.
Absolutely. And I think not only are we very proud, but we're very thankful to have LCS as partners as well that actually give us the reach going on,
It's always been a pleasure.
all of Pakistan. Just taking a little bit from your points regarding customer experience and moving over to you, Ali, I think when the product actually reaches the customer, it is your delivery hero that actually is bringing the product to the customer. So that is the first physical interaction that the customer actually has with the person, and that means that you're essentially representing Daraz, alongside representing Dex and alongside representing LCS. So what kind of efforts actually go into ensuring that the customer experience that is actually very important, for example, to Daraz, and that translates into Dex and then goes on into the customer? What happens over there?
So Imran, some of the important things that we've learned over time is that the person delivering the package is the most important person. It's not you, me, it's not any one of us, but it's that person. And there are two things. First, there's the customer, and then there's a consumer as well. So the person who usually orders doesn't necessarily have to be at the receiving end of it. So we need to be very careful how we interact at that front. Secondly, I think what's important is knowing about the company and the company policies. Because one thing that you need to build, that individual is responsible to build on behalf of the company, is the trust. So if a customer, for instance, is hesitant of what is in the package, or what if it's not what he expects, then the hero has to be able to tell that person that we have a very robust return policy. 7 days, you can just return it. If you're in KLI, you lock a return, we'll come pick it up from you, and other cities as well. Apart from that, we've seen, like in the smaller cities, we've seen a huge impact in terms of deliveries based on experience. So once we've opened up a city, over time, customers have felt the trust and the orders have increased. And even in 1111 and 1010, I'll give you an example, recently shared example. One of our partners was delivering in Muzaffarabad, and the customer actually invited the hero indoors for a cup of tea, because he was so surprised that, okay, mere ghar pe bhi koi delivery karne aa raha hai Muzaffarabad mein. So that's the kind of surprise that you need, and that's the kind of trust that you need to build over time that will help the business grow further. And jahan mein cities mein, we've helped the customer improve this experience, we've seen a higher number of orders from that city.
Great. I think we've got some great insights from LCS, Dex, me, TCL, Shayan from Reckitt. We're hoping to, break some good records in 1111. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of this panel discussion. Let's join for a cup of tea. Well,
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thanks.
great. Thank you.